I think it was William Shakespeare who said, "See how she leans her cheek upon her hand. Oh, that I were a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek. Sugoi desu ne." Shakespeare-san was of course talking about Hello Kitty.
Oh.
Welcome to Sushi Bites. I'm sure you know what Hello Kitty is, but here is an explanation for the 3 people watching who don't know and probably think it's a type of cat dating agency or something. Don't give any washed-up indie devs any ideas now. Hello Kitty is a character created by Yuko Shimizu and produced by Sanrio. Kitty White, as she's actually called, is just a cartoon character, not actually a cat, at least according to her creator. She's perpetually 8 or 9 years old, lives outside London, and her birthday is November 1st. She was envisioned in 1974 and immediately put to work to sell merchandise. She's hugely popular worldwide, with men and women, boys and girls. This week we're looking at Hello Kitty games. More specifically, we're looking at her first 2 video game appearances, Hello Kitty no Hanabatake and Hello Kitty World, both released for the Famicom in Japan in 1992, even though the Super Famicom was already out and doing well at the time. Sanrio's gaming and software division, Charactersoft, published the 2 games, though they were both developed by different teams. Let's take a look at them both, shall we? Hello Kitty no Hanabatake, or rather Hello Kitty's Flower Shop, is difficult to define. It's kind of like a platformer game, but it's also reminiscent of something like Mappy. As Kitty White, your goal is to water all of the flowers in every level. Doing this isn't as straightforward as it may first seem, as everything wants you dead. The game's controls and mechanics are weird. Your first few attempts at this game are really when you start to form an idea of how these mechanics actually work. The game has a timer and it's no slouch. You're always being rushed, and therefore being able to perform under pressure is vital. You have a rather miserable little jump and you can hit enemies with a mallet. Hitting enemies only stuns them. You can't kill any enemies unless you ram into them with an invincibility power-up. Your mallet can, however, be used to reverse the direction of any lift you're standing on. Something you need to know for the later stages. There are 18 levels, and they go from reasonable to unreasonable. Plus, there are bonus levels which just net you more points. With its unlimited continues, this is certainly far from the most offensive game I've played, but I'd recommend a number of other platformers on NES over this, especially considering this came out in 1992, well after Super Mario Bros. 3 showed us how 8-bit platformers should be done. Flower Shop is a curio, but nothing substantial. Hello Kitty World is much more substantial a video game. Don't confuse it with the iOS and Android theme park management sim, which shares the same name. This is a Famicom port of Balloon Kid from the Nintendo Game Boy, which was the sequel to Nintendo's Balloon Fight. Balloon Kid focuses on the misadventures of Alice, a young girl on a journey to save her brother Jim, who attached too many balloons to himself and flew off into the sky. This Hello Kitty themed version of the game was developed by a company known only as Mario, as indicated by the title screen credits. Yet Wikipedia and many online sources claim that it was developed by Charactersoft. I have to go with the word of God on this one. The company name is in the game, so that is what I go with. It was reprogrammed from Balloon Kid, with the plot and graphics changed. The music and sound effects remained more or less unchanged. The game scrolls from right to left, a rather odd thing uncommon in platformers. You have two balloons attached to yourself. When your balloons are hit by an enemy or obstacle, you lose one. When both are lost, you fall. If you land on the ground and you're safe to do so, you can pump up new balloons with the down button. Also, you can detach your balloons at will with the B button, which is useful for getting through tight spaces where your balloons don't fit, or for platforming sections that require steady jumping. The levels aren't on the short side at all, and the difficulty level isn't a spring breeze either. This is genuinely decent, clever platforming. With the Hello Kitty theme, it's also rather appealing aesthetically, and features gorgeous presentation. The music is quite frankly excellent. It's very easy to recommend this. Of course, Balloon Kid already exists in English on the original Game Boy, so there's no real reason to track down Hello Kitty World. And if you were interested in importing this game, it's worth noting there was a Japanese remake of Balloon Kid exclusive for the Game Boy Color. Of course, neither of these feature Hello Kitty, which is kind of the real selling point here. However, the remake allows you to restart from any level you got to, which is a major plus in my book. So really, the choice boils down to whether you want this awesome game with Kitty in it, or without Kitty in it. This is by no means the last we'll hear of Kitty White, or of Sanrio properties in general, but for now, it's time to put this cat to sleep. This has been Sushi Bites. Thanks for watching. Come here, kitty kitty. It's just one little injection. Another week, another Sushi Bites. On screen, you'll find links to last week's episode on Banana Prints and Time Zone. Serious talk, what, are you all broke? If you can afford even just $1 a month, please help me out on Patreon. Oops, time's up, over, blow!